sun to power your house, you can feel good about an investment that will last for years. All Energy Solar is a locally trusted turnkey solar installer that's been around since 2009. They provide custom designs and quality installations of solar panel systems that work for your energy needs. One of the best parts about going solar is it's an investment that can pay for itself. Your system can pay back 100% of the installation cost in as little as 8 years. Plus, a system from All Energy Solar can pay back over 300% of its cost over its lifetime. There's also many tax incentives and rebates available, and the experts at All Energy Solar can walk you through the entire process to make sure you're saving as much as possible. So go green, both financially and environmentally, with All Energy Solar. Get a free, no-obligation assessment from All Energy Solar by calling 800-620-3370 or visiting allenergysolar.com.
There are things that we experience but never talk about. A shadow moving in a corner, flickering of the lights, a disembodied voice. We invite you to talk with us, share your story, share your evidence, because this isn't just your story, this is our story. This is GhostBox Radio.
And this is GhostBox Radio on AM 950, where every week we talk about the paranormal, ufology, Bigfoot, or just the unusual. But I guess that's not true anymore, is it? It's not just every week, because as I've been telling everybody, everywhere, all the time, nonstop, that we are going nightly. And that starts tomorrow, Monday, July 10th, which is pretty exciting. I'm not going to lie. I'm very excited about it. You know, even though I've been doing the show on AM 950 for 3 years now, and I've been doing a radio show like on the internet for probably about 8 years now, I am still a little nervous about it. I'm not going to lie, because this is nightly. It's really exciting. I just want to do a shout out real fast to Matt on his show. I was on his show on Friday. Also, I was listening to Native Roots, and I just want to say thank you very much to Mr. Robert Pilot for doing a shout out for the new show starting Monday. That is very cool. I greatly, greatly appreciate that. So, you know, we are moving into new territory. We're the goal here, and we'll talk about this throughout the hour. The goal here is that we're going to expand the type of topics we talk about, delve into things a little bit deeper. And you know, at the end of the day, let's just have some fun, right? There's some interesting things out there. We're not all going to agree on everything that's being said, but we can certainly enjoy it and have a fun time talking about it. There's no need for anyone to you know, push one way or the other. It's just going to be a nice fun time. And I have with me today a couple of my friends for the final Sunday show. And I just wanted to include them on this because this is kind of a big change, and they're going to be joining me on the nightly show as well. We have, of course, Miss Char Savoy, who is the owners of both Charvinity and Metamorphosis Connections. And we're going to be talking about those today. Char, how are you doing today?
I am good. How are you?
I am great. Thank you so much for taking the time and joining me on a Sunday afternoon when it's very nice out. It looks nice wherever you are right now. So that's great. I'm happy to see that. And then I'm going to also say hello, who is not on camera, to Mr. Adam, who is joining me on this nightly journey.
Well, hello, and thank you for having me again this week.
Oh, thank you very much. And Adam is going to be with us on Thursday and Fridays, and I'm really excited. We're going to have some great conversations, and it's always great to have you along for the ride.
Thank you very much. I'm very stoked for this opportunity and for the see where this show goes, because once a week is not good enough, to be honest with you, for what you want to tackle on this show.
No, and that's just it. Is obviously when we do this. I don't know about you, Adam, Char, when you've done the show with us and done the show as guest host, you know, I often feel like, apart from a couple, that when you're done with the show, it's like, oh gosh, I wish this was like 2 hours, or I wish I could get them back on again really quickly. Have you run into that, Char?
Yeah, absolutely. The time goes so much faster than you think it does, and there's just so much to cover, and you start talking and then somebody mentions something like, "Oh my god, I could talk about that for an hour." It's like that one topic. So, I'm super excited for you.
Oh, thank
Congratulations.
you.
You deserve this so much.
Thank you so much. I'm really, really stoked about it, and I'm gonna say this tomorrow as well. But uh, I got once I posted about the new show on LinkedIn, and I haven't used LinkedIn for about like 4 years, and I'm like, well, I have this. Let's use this as a tool. And one of the first people to send me a note to congratulate me was Tim Dennis. And Tim was co-host of Darkness Radio on KTLK, but he also does Darkness on Patreon. He does it on Facebook. So that was really kind of cool to have him just reach out and say hi and whatnot. So I was really happy about that. I had a number of people uh, join in and say nice things about what we're doing. So that was really nice.
I
So
think people
yeah,
enjoy what you do for sure. I mean, your show is amazing. You cover so many different topics, you reach so many different people on so many different levels that I think, you have so much more support than you realize. And be happy because I'm really happy for you. And I'm glad that the people that you admire and that you look up to are reaching out and saying congratulations as well.
oh, thank you very much. Like I mentioned, we're gonna have Shar on as much as she wants to be on. Let's put it that way. I've reached out to a number of people on Metamorphosis Connections, which is this wonderful directory of all sort of modalities. Because we're not just talking about spirits and banging noises and stuff. We're talking about all sorts of things that are going to help you. So reaching out, finding really, really talented people. And that's what Metamorphosis Connections is all about, isn't it?
Absolutely. And there's some really gifted, talented people that do so many things, like things I didn't even know existed. And I was like, wait, what is this? And I mean, and both me and you, we go on the same concept of the metaphysical and the paranormal are kind of the same.
Yeah.
So they blend, they're the same thing. So to cover those things and with the paranormal isn't that so out of the realm.
No, no, not at all. And you hear the commercials during our breaks and whatnot, but I mean, really, I get a lot of people who are like, "Oh, I want to try this. I want to try that. I'm not sure like where do I start to find the right people?" And I always push them towards first of all, I mean, to be very honest, I push them just in general towards Charvinity because that is just there's just so much going on with you there and also Metamorphosis Connections as well.
Oh, thank you.
It's truly great and I just had done that I think I mentioned to you when we were on our trip. I mentioned it to the folks that we were doing the trip with that please go reach out because there are certain things they wanted to get. And I'm like, well, this is where you want to go and get them. So
Right, right.
now whether they did or not, I can't say. I don't know. I mean, that's out of my hands at that point, Shar.
Right.
I don't know.
I totally get it. I mean, even if they reach out to me through Sarvinity, I will direct them to the right place on the metamorphosis. So either one is perfectly fine.
And that's kind of what I thought because that just seems to be I mean, it just seems like a great focal point. And then going to Charvinity, you do so many classes, you do so many events that it is just really, I'm amazed. I don't know how you do it all, to be very honest. I don't know how you put all these classes together, how you're doing all these events. But you're constantly working and I just the way I see it is you're just constantly working to better people's lives. You're constantly working to grow them to whatever level they want to. It's up to them and that's what you're there for to help them.
Absolutely. It's kind of my way. I've always liked to help people and to like be there for them. And it's just my way of being able to do that on a much broader scale. And so it just makes me happy. I just like doing it.
As it should, as it should. Why don't we do this? Because there's a lot of stuff that I would like to talk about today. I would like to take a break. When we come back, Adam has this UFO or alien article that we're going to talk about. Want you to weigh in on it too, Shar. We're going to have a good time. You're listening to GhostBox Radio on AM 950.
Hey, it's Patrick for Zero Res. We're heading into July and the heart of summer. The backyard barbecues over Independence Day will bring a lot of family and friends over to the house, and your kids will spend a lot of time outdoors on the sports fields and in the backyard. But that also means your guests are going to be spilling the potato salad, and your kids are going to be tracking in who knows what from their outdoor explorations or off the sports fields. July is National Carpet Cleaning Month, and because of that, check out this amazing deal Zero Res has going. Zero Res is offering 3 rooms starting at just $129 and get a 4th room free. It's also the perfect time of year to get your air ducts cleaned this month and take 20% off any air duct cleaning. Call 952-0RES or go to zeroresminnesota.com and ask for the AM 950 special. Again, don't wait. Book your appointment today. Backward or forward spells the same. Zero Res.
If you own a holistic or metaphysical business and are looking to expand, then you need to be listed on metamorphosisconnections.com. It's a network where you can grow with like-minded practitioners and reach new clients. Metamorphosisconnections.com is an online directory you need to list yourself and your business. Our platform makes it easy for you to create listings of your products and services, and you can also choose to list your classes, events, and so much more. Metamorphosisconnections.com helps you create weekly and monthly promotional ads targeted towards your potential clients and promotes them for you via social media and newsletter. There are clients searching for your specialty right now. Let us help them find you. Start your listing today so you can share your own unique gifts and talents by finding the level of membership that best fits your needs. Let us help you reach your clients that are searching for what you do. Visit metamorphosisconnections.com and sign up today.
Located just north of 50th in France, the Great Wall Restaurant has provided a delicious taste of authentic Chinese cuisine since 1981. Specializing in Szechuan and Peking dishes, they offer one of the most extensive menus in the Twin Cities. Favorites include hot and sour soup, pan-fried dumplings, and mushu pork with homemade Chinese pancakes. Stop by their Edina location or call for takeout at 952-927-4439. See the full menu at greatwallrestaurant.us.
Would you let animals pick your insurance? Do you really need to experience mayhem to get the best rates? Or how about a celebrity quarterback or fake university saving you money? There's a lot of marketing stunts when it comes to insurance, but what you really need is someone looking out for you. Call Array Insurance, and they will work hard to find you the best insurance coverage and rates. So avoid gimmicks and call Cheryl at Array, 763-504-3067, or arrayinsurance.com. Array Insurance, working hard for you.
And welcome back to GhostBox Radio. My name is Greg Bach, and thank you very, very much for joining me. Our last Sunday show before we go 5 nights a week, and that starts tomorrow, and I am very, very excited about that, and so excited that I decided to bring back my friends who I always like to have a conversation with. I have with me Char Savoy of Charvinity and Metamorphosis Connections, as well as Mr. Adam, who's actually in the studio, surrounded by all sorts of trees and whatnot back there. We don't have a camera on you today.
No camera on me, so we can't watch the Himalayan light turn off and on by itself like it did last week.
There's a number of people in the chat, and if you're wondering, well, how do I get to the chat? Go to AM 950 Radio on Facebook, or you can go to GhostBox Radio with Greg Bakken on Facebook, and you can join in the chat if you have something to say. We don't really have a massive plan for today's show, but if there's something you want to talk about, put it into the comments. I am not taking calls today, but put it into the comments, and we can certainly talk about it. Just a quick shout out to Bridget, who says that the pilots, Wendy and Robert Pilot, are awesome people. Love them both, and their show and mine. Thank you very much. Robert Pilot, actually, Adam, the first time I ever talked to Robert Pilot when I started 3 years ago doing this, the first thing he ever said to me is, I hope that my goal for you would to get a nightly show.
Well, Robert's the man around here. I will absolutely say that wholeheartedly. No fibbing, no nothing. I absolutely love Native Roots Radio. Yep. Robert and Wendy are amazing. The few times I've bored up their show, I almost kind of get caught up listening to it. It's like, oh snap, a break. I gotta hit the space bar over here. But they're very engaging, and I absolutely love the feel of that show. Robert is so well spoken and educated in the topics he is talking about. You're not going to get any fluff, lie, anything like that with Robert, which is why it makes him probably my favorite show next to GhostBox here on AM 950.
So to kind of get things moving along a little bit, you had something that you found very interesting that you pulled off the wire.
Yeah, I pulled it off the wire. This is from CBS News, so I'm going to give credit where credit is due.
Absolutely.
It was published by Mike Sullivan, July 7th, 2023, so just a couple of days ago. It's a story out of Cambridge, Massachusetts. A Harvard professor, Avi Loeb, believes that they may have found fragments of alien technology from a meteor that landed off the waters of Papua New Guinea in 2014. Now, first of all, when I see Papua New Guinea, first thing I think is, well, let's see. Yeah. But as I got reading into the article and Professor Avi Loeb, they have what they say in conjunction with U.S. Space Command, they can confirm with almost 99.999% certainty that what they found at the bottom of the waters is alien technology. So basically what happened in 2014, the Defense Department noticed a very large boom and flash off the waters of Papua New Guinea.
Got it.
So the U.S. Department of Defense went and investigated the area.
Yep.
They calculated how large the path was that this giant fireball took, but they were not finding any remnants of a meteor hitting the earth or anything like that. So they called in Harvard professor Loeb here. What the Harvard professor did then was they took a projected 10-kilometer range, or about 6.7 miles, if you're not on the metric system, to search. So what they did was they put magnetic sleds on the bottom of some boats and combed this 10-kilometer range back and forth for several days. According to Avi Loeb, and his quote from the article is, "We found 10 spherules. They're almost perfect spheres, or metallic marbles, if you will. When you look at them through a microscope, they look very distinct from everything else in the background," Loeb explained. He says, quote, "They have colors of gold, blue, brown, and some of them resemble a miniature Earth." He goes on to say their composition shows that they are made of 84% iron, 8% silicone, 4% magnesium, and 2% titanium, plus trace elements there that are, sub-millimeter in size. They found a grand total of 50 of them, and they have now officially been cataloged by NASA. They still don't know exactly what these are, but the fact that they are round spheres, very colorful, they kind of look like that there should be a bigger find somewhere within that debris field off the coast of Papua New Guinea. They're heading back out there with a couple of new technological gadgets, according to Loeb, sometime later this year to search for more of what could possibly be a wreckage, or what could possibly be a new kind of meteor that has never been discovered here hitting planet Earth. I found that insanely interesting reading that article the other day, and I was just like, this is something I got to bring up on the show. Yeah. Because I think a few days ago on the GhostBox Facebook page, for those of you hop on Facebook after the show, of course, hop on GhostBox Radio Facebook page. Greg has been posting, what do you think style articles on there of late, and one of them was about the UFOs and how they used to look with the actual saucer look. And I have a theory on that we can get into at another show, but I honestly think those were cargo trucks, essentially.
Oh, interesting.
And nowadays we're seeing the little tic-tac ones, as they're being called, going up from the ocean floor into the skies. That's been caught. Got it. I think that becomes more your everyday driver. I think they have set up under the ocean. I don't know what they're doing there. Could be good, could be bad. I've seen they live. And, we could have just be catching the first glimpses of what they were trying to bring down to our service. Maybe they're trying to be helpful. I would hope so.
So, Shar, what did you think of that article?
Oh, it's interesting because I remember I saw the article pop up on the web when I went to go to a site and I didn't look at it. So I know what he's referencing at least. It's very interesting, and I could be wrong, so don't quote me on this 100%, but I actually think I bought a piece of meteorite from Papua New Guinea not that long ago from that date.
Ooh, cool.
You're kidding.
No,
Wow.
I'm not. I have a series of meteorite. Well, you know me. I have meteorite necklaces and
That's
all
right,
kinds
you
of
do.
stuff.
Absolutely. I remember, yeah.
I connect to them. And so I have little pieces of meat. And I swear, I'm not at home to go check, or I would, but I swear one of them was from Papua New Guinea and it was around that date time. So I'll have to look at it when I get home. But I'm not surprised. I am not surprised, to be honest.
I saw your face kind of light up when Adam talked about the one that looks like it could be like the land masses of Earth and stuff on there.
Yeah, well, I have that one that has all those little, sounds very similar to that one necklace I have that started to break apart.
Yeah, that's right.
And so I was like, that sounds very familiar to me. And so it makes sense. I mean, I don't know. They're here. I mean, the fact that we're finding physical evidence, I think, is just a side note to what's already happening.
And kind of a question to both of you. You have about 3 minutes before we head to break. Do you think we are meant to find this stuff, if I could construct a proper sentence, do you think we could find these stuff is going to show themselves to us in kind of on their timeline opposed to us? Meaning that, are we heading towards a possible disclosure, a possible unveiling?
I think they're like Easter eggs. They're dropping hints.
Sure.
They're not going to just pop out and we're here one day. And I think you're on the right track too, is they're here for a purpose, whether, hopefully it's here to help us, but I think that they're allowing certain things to come through and we have to unravel it somehow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in total agreement. I don't know if mankind is even ready to accept as a whole nother species coming from the stars.
No.
I personally am, but mankind as a whole, I don't think so at this time.
Right.
And maybe they're smart enough to kind of wait it out until man is ready, or it has to be done to save the planet. I know it sounds like a sci-fi flick, but what we've seen in Star Trek and Star Wars growing up is now everyday material. So
true.
Well, and I have to agree with Annette. I agree with her.
So Annette put a comment in our chat on GhostBox Radio with Greg Bucket and Facebook that says, I don't think aliens are interested in us, just our planet. And I can understand where you both are coming from, but what about all those alleged, interactions that people seem to always have with like taking them out of beds and stuff?
I think they're curious in us, but not as people. Like I don't think they connect to us on an emotional level like we connect to each other. I think they're more interested in us as an organism. How do we function? What do we do? What can we use you for? And I'm not saying that in a bad way, but it's just like, you go to the store and you buy ingredients for a meal, you use certain ingredients for certain things. So that's what they're doing. They're finding certain ingredients for certain things.
Adam?
I actually 100% agree with exactly everything Shar said there. I think they're here to study and observe more than to actually interfere.
That is interesting. Do you think then, as we have about a minute before we go to break, Adam, do you think that they want to save us from Armageddon?
If it benefits them, I believe they would step in.
Shar, do you think that we're a science project?
I think we are a science project and maybe part of the solution, but only the problem is we're not figuring out that part. And that might be why they're dropping hints for us to help. But unfortunately, I don't think we're ever going to get it.
Now, Annette had said that she believes that they already found what they wanted. And I don't know if I think I agree with all of you. I think you're all on the right track. I kind of feel like that, like we're like a house plant in a sense, that aliens are watching over us, and to both of your points, it's like, okay, we're going to not interfere, maybe insert themselves when it looks like we're going to self-destruct. as a race, or maybe harm to the planet or something like that. It's very interesting. Why don't we do this though, because we have so much more to talk about. Let's take another break. When we come back, we're going to continue this conversation. Also, let's talk about that crash landing in Las Vegas. I'd be interested in what you all think about that too, as we continue talking about UFO and aliens today. You're listening to GhostBox Radio on AM 950.
Would you let animals pick your insurance? Do you really need to experience mayhem to get the best rates? Or how about a celebrity quarterback or fake university saving you money? There's a lot of marketing stunts when it comes to insurance, but what you really need is someone looking out for you. Call Array Insurance, and they will work hard to find you the best insurance coverage and rates. So avoid gimmicks and call Cheryl at Array, 763-504-3067, or arrayinsurance.com. Array Insurance, working hard for you.
This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, weekdays at 5 p.m. On our show, you'll hear about Native issues like treaties, protecting Mother Earth, and holding our elected officials accountable. Weekly correspondents like Dr. Stately, State Senator Mary Kunesh, Robert Lilligren, and Bob Blake update us with the latest news from Turtle Island. Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues. Listen weekdays at 5 p.m. or watch the show on Native Roots Radio social media accounts. Ho-wah!
Hi, this is Chad from AM 950. Snap Construction is arguably the most well-reviewed roofing, siding, window, and insulation contractor in the metro. Ryan is so excited about working with AM 950 and our listeners that he wants to help us grow.
This is Ryan, owner of Snap Construction. I was friends with Chad long before I started marketing with him. I was a bit skeptical of radio advertising before Chad convinced us to run ads. The advertising's been so successful, we want to help the station grow. We've absolutely loved working with the listeners of AM 950, and we all know how extremely important this radio station is to the community. To help AM 950 grow, Snap Construction will be putting up proceeds to assist the station in marketing on social media. Snap Construction encourages you to follow, engage, share, and interact on the AM 950 social media platforms. Together, we can all work to ensure AM 950 continues to thrive and grow in our communities. We stand by our work with a lifetime craftsmanship guarantee. For a free estimate or more information on our financing, call 612-333-SNAP or check us out online.
Why must the world be so cold? They've gone against what was told. Thinking rape is cool, think about it. They think it's not wrong, violence against women, the rape, the abuse, the emotional, physical. They all hold the hate, think about it. Is it right or wrong? What attracts you? I'm not saying no names, but you laugh. Talk about it like nothing is wrong. Think about it. They all hold the hate, gotta stop the violence. Stop the hate, think about it.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Cafe Latte offers made-from-scratch soups, salads, sandwiches, and mouth-watering desserts. So come check out their pizza and wine bar, or get a treat from the bakery made fresh daily. Plus, you can still do online ordering and takeout, along with gift cards. Just go to cafelatte.com and choose from their ever-changing selection of award-winning salads, sandwiches, and soups. Cafe Latte is located off Victoria and Grand and online at cafelatte.com.
Sexual abuse has hurt our Native people. It's still hurting them. My cousin was raped when she was 13, and 2 months later she found out she was pregnant. Now she is hurt because her baby has no dad. We have to stop sexual abuse against Native women and girls. We shouldn't have to experience sexual violence. Work with us to stop this abuse. That's not too much to ask for, is it?
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
And welcome back to GhostBox Radio on AM 950. My name is Greg Bakken, the final Sunday show before I make the journey over to weeknights. Don't forget, folks, that's weeknights at 10:06 p.m. Central Standard Time, Monday through Friday, GhostBox Radio. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll talk a little bit more about that in the next segment, about who we're going to have on coming up. But a couple things, a bit of house cleaning before we get back into our conversation. This coming Friday, July 14th, Shar and I, as Charvinity and Parafriends Events, are going to be doing an event over at the Grand House in Rush City, Minnesota. And this is really one, folks, that if you can do it, I would definitely recommend it if you want to hear true evidence from a paranormal investigation that has actually happened at the Grand House. We were all part of it We like to call it 18 minutes because everything that happens took place in 18 minutes. And it is extremely articulate with a lot of different types of evidence and whatnot in there, which is really exciting. And Shar, I mean, this is going to be a lot of fun. This is July 14th at 6:30 p.m. at the Grand House in Rush City, Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm so excited for this. This is like one of the best experiences that I've ever been a part of. And I know you feel the same way. And I'm just so excited to present it at the Grand House. I mean, I don't even know how to find words for it. It's amazing. It's fun. The people that were there, some of them will be there to help tell their personal side of it, their feelings, how it affected them. So this is a really, really great event. And I'm really excited for this one.
Now, to get in, it's $10 to get in for the presentation at 6:30. But what Becky is doing over at the Grand House, for those of us who love to eat, and I am one of them, that she's going to, right? Exactly. She is doing a buffet dinner. That's an additional charge, but the door is open for that at 5:30. And I mean, she always brings good food. She always is able to get a lot of good things together. So that's an additional charge. I don't know what that is, but just come out anyway. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it's actually a very emotional presentation, to be very honest.
It really is, in all the right ways. I mean, it'll hit you on every emotion pretty much.
Absolutely. And we're actually going to have those who played a very big part in the investigation actually presenting it, those who are able to make it. And that to me makes it so much more real, because they're going to be able to tell you. I mean, Shar and I were there too. I mean, we had moments of inclusion into that investigation, but hearing the people who were channeling certain things and living those moments, it's truly chilling, and it really captures different types of evidence, from spirit box EVP to real live records of historical context.
Right.
So this is going to be fantastic. Once again, folks, this is at the Grant House in Rush City, Minnesota. The doors open at 5:30 if you want to get a dinner. The presentation will start at 6:30, and it's going to be truly amazing. Let alone the Grant House is one of the best haunted locations in Minnesota. Definitely go check it out regardless.
Absolutely.
So continuing our conversation from the last segment, talking about aliens as one does, what the thing is also, where am I here? Annette had also said that that the aliens are probably waiting for us to kill each other, then take our planet. Now that's a bit macabre for a Sunday afternoon, if you ask me. It's definitely. Who am I to say, though, that she's wrong, Adam?
I was about to say, she probably isn't wrong.
I mean, that's. I mean, it's, you know.
I mean, they spent so many years studying our cows.
That's true.
And you know, maybe.
I mean, I think there's a little bit of something in there, because I feel like somehow they're waiting for us to do something. They need us. We're a key part. Like, we're the engineer for something. If they're dropping off this alien technology, we're going to replicate it. We're going to try to do something with it. And maybe that's the purpose.
That's an interesting thought too. And I'm going to take it maybe not the way that you're intending it, Char, but you know, they're dropping off stuff that's kind of like weaponry, or at least we're taking it as such. I mean, and that's, who knows what kind of conversion that is from aliens that drop stuff off that is just flying machines, and of course the human race decides that this is weapons and that we must use it, and it becomes an arm race and all that stuff. I mean, it's very interesting. Now, Julie says, I believe that they've been here for thousands of years, feeding off our energy. And I don't know, Julie, if you mean the energy of the earth or our individual human energy, or maybe all of the above.
That one really could go both ways.
Yeah. I mean, that's just it. I mean, that's the thing about this, is that there is a lot. I mean, it could go a lot of different ways with this as well. And And if you two don't mind, I'm going to go through a couple more comments here. Thank you all very much for all the comments coming through. This is really, really a lot of fun. And let's see here. I'm just trying to see here. Okay, so Julie's saying individual energy and energy matrix. I mean, and that's the other thing that I think a lot of people don't quite understand. And I think, I don't know, Shar, if you would agree, or Adam, if you would agree, that I feel like people think of the way that any sort of aliens getting to us transportation wise is that same old sort of like they're in a flying saucer and they come from planet X to the Earth, where that would be, I think that's impossible. I think they have to be like portals or some sort of sort of like tunnel of some kind that can expedite that sort of travel.
Maybe that's why we see Bonnies. Maybe that's how they're getting through. They're opening up a rift in the atmosphere and making that sort of their international highway, if you will, or galactic highway. And that opens up, and a few of them can pop through when they need to.
Well, and I firmly believe that. I mean, I think I mentioned to you, Shar, that John and I saw that those, and I found on the interweb, I found the drawing of it, and that I sent to John. He didn't respond to it, which was a bit of a bummer, but whatever. And come on, this is what we've been talking about. As Brad points out, Brad Webb from Cracked Skull Paranormal, he that it's wormholes, absolutely, and that we saw them, and people are like, well, that's going to be such and such satellite. And like, I've never seen satellites open up a circle in the sky and stuff comes through and drops and keeps moving. Have you ever seen that, Adam?
I have never even heard of that, but that would be fascinating. And yeah, that would definitely be a wormhole.
Right. And we were out in Hudson. That's where John lives. And his address is, no, I'm just kidding. But we were out in Hudson, and it's clear sky over there. So, you could really see it. And we're just watching. And Chris, his wife, is like, well, no, that's, satellite link or whatever, nat link or sat link or whatever they call this stuff. I don't pay attention to that.
Now, the spirals have been explained as the satellites. And that I totally get, the random spiral someone will see, but something opening up in the sky and watching something fall out.
Yeah. I'll show you the drawing afterwards. Now, jumping around a little bit, Annette has been on the chat, and she's just been like, well, has anyone heard of abductions the last 20 years? Getting back to the alien abduction side of things. Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, and we're going to bring them through on the show more and more to tell their story. Shar told her story on our special episode of GhostBox Radio. John shared his as well, and John Yost also shared his. I mean, and John's was from the 70s, but Shar and John on the phone, they were much more recent. And I had a number of people from that episode reached out to me to tell me that they have a story to tell as well, which I think is, I know it was hard to tell those stories, but I think the purpose of it was able to allow people to feel like they weren't so ostracized by it themselves, perhaps.
And to know that there's other people who have experienced that, it's got to be uplifting for folks who have been not wanting to share their stories because of what they feel like the public would treat them as, or, anything like that.
No, absolutely. And, I'm reading a book right now, and it's taking forever only because I just don't have the time to do it. And it's about a guy who, this is going back to the 60s, though, that had been his whole life. He's been abducted over and over and over again his whole life. And it's just, I don't know. It's crazy. And I don't mean that, that sounds like a throwaway line, but it's true. I mean, it's just, and that's why I was wondering from you two, like, you're all saying that, they're really interested in the Earth, but, I think they're doing science experiments on some of the people here.
And I think, like the individual you referenced who has been abducted multiple times, maybe there is something within their DNA structure that, the star people or the aliens actually like. Like there's something a little different with their chromosomes as opposed to the rest of us that they may want to manipulate within their own labs.
And you know what I think that is? I think that's a hybrid.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, doesn't that make sense, Char?
Absolutely. And I mean, you just never know what the purpose is. Why? You don't know. But also at the same time, I think back in the 50s and 70s, what else are we going to talk about? There's so much going on right now. Like we've been desensitized to aliens and alien abductions and other things because of all the movies. And it's just not news. It's just another movie. So that's why we don't hear about it anymore, but it's still happening.
It almost feels like a diversion in a sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you feel that that's a misplaced word, saying it's a diversion? Because I mean, that sounds like that means there's a plan. Is it to think it's just happenstance, or what are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. I think there's a plan somehow, but I don't think it's about us trying to figure out what that plan is. I mean, there's all kinds of different reasons why they might be doing it. Like if, I agree kind of on the science experiment topic where I don't want to say we're in a science experiment, but I think they are experimenting. They're trying to figure us out. They're trying to see what they do. I think my experience compared to John on the phone's experience was completely different. He had a purpose with his. I'm not sure what my purpose is, but when mine happened shortly after that is when I had my awakening to being a psychic medium. Was that part of that? Did they awaken something in me from that? Or was that a side effect? I don't know.
Absolutely. Let's do this. Let's get into our last break. When we come back, we're going to finish up our conversation about aliens, just kind of free for all. I love the comments. Keep them coming. We're going to talk about what's coming up on GhostBox Radio this week, and we're going to finish up the show. You're listening to GhostBox Radio on AM 950.
Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces is having their annual sale for the entire month of July. All of their indoor and outdoor fireplace products and accessories are at the lowest price of the year.
Did you know that now there's also a 30% federal tax credit when you install an efficient wood heating stove or fireplace? At Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces, we can explain and show you the many options. We have the Twin Cities' widest selection of wood-burning stoves and fireplaces.
I love my wood stove. We enjoy the sense of well-being we get by cutting and splitting wood to warm our home. Wood is our choice, but you may have other choices at Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces. Whether transforming an existing fireplace or adding something new, a clean-burning wood, gas, or electric fire can have you sitting pretty and cozy by the fire.
Visit Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces at Riverside and East Franklin Avenue in Minneapolis or at woodlandstoves.com. Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces, since 1977, out-of-the-ordinary products and services to make fire work for you.
Reach your highest level of consciousness and well-being with metamorphosisconnections.com. Metamorphosisconnections.com is an online directory of the best holistic and metaphysical practitioners to help you make your most informed choices. You can search metamorphosisconnections.com for classes, events, wellness and life coaches, plus metaphysical products and shops. You can also search for a wide array of healers from all modalities, including EFT, sound healing, energy healing, light therapy, ancestral healing, shamanic healing, reflexology, past life regressions, hypnotherapy, yoga, and more. And if you're not sure where to start, the search feature on metamorphosisconnections.com is tailored to help both those who know what they are looking for and those who are just starting. Come explore the possibilities for your higher self by visiting metamorphosisconnections.com. Their experienced practitioners can guide both beginners and those that are already on their spiritual journey. That's metamorphosisconnection.com, your link to direct you on your spiritual transformation.
For years, my father sexually abused me. For years, I abused alcohol and drugs to stop the hurt and rage. For years, I was afraid I would become a perpetrator just like him. I'm sober now. I've received help to recover from sexual abuse. I rely on our pipe, our ceremonies, and our culture. For the rest of my life, I'll be learning how to live with my past, because overcoming the abuse of my childhood has made me the strong man that I am today. As men in our Indian communities, we must hold each other accountable and overcome our own past of sexual abuse so that we can break this cycle.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Seward Co-op is now offering convenient self-serve and prepackaged hot options and salad bars at both the Franklin and Friendship stores. Breakfast items available daily until 11 a.m. and brunch served all day every Sunday. Their weekly lunch and dinner menus highlight cuisines from around the world. They offer vegan, vegetarian, and gluten-free options daily. 95% of the ingredients used are organic from small-scale, local community food producers whenever possible. More at seward.coop.
And join us Monday as we do the inaugural Monday night program at 10 p.m. Central Standard Time, going Monday through Friday, GhostBox Radio. We're very excited about it. We're going to have a big week of great shows. Starting tomorrow, we're going to have a lovely lady, Moon Girl, Mistress of the Paranormal. We're going to be talking about dream interpretation. And it's it's a subject I'm very interested in. We're going to talk with her about that tomorrow night at 10:06 p.m. This week, we're going to also be talking to Michael J. Warden, who is an author. He also has been on a number of the TV shows, and we're going to be talking about his new book. We're going to also be talking with the owners of the Bell Mansion, as well as one of the conversations, one of the topics I'm always very interested in, which is demonology. We're going to be talking about a new book that came out, Intro to Demonology. And then, of course, Friday, we call that Casual Friday, where it's kind of like this. It's going to be kind of a free-for-all, and we are looking forward to hearing people's comments and everything else. So we're very excited about that. I'm going to bring back in now Shar and Adam. We've been talking all day about aliens. It's been a very fascinating conversation, and I just want to thank you both very much for the conversation.
And
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us. I'm getting caught up on the Las Vegas crash.
Yeah.
Daily Mail had put out a newer article from the UK, and it looks like what I'm reading in here, after the initial crash and body cam footage was released, and then 39 minutes later, one of the neighbors comes up and says there's 8 to 10 foot creatures in their backyard.
Yep.
All right. After that, there has been more video and photos of 2 white spherical objects in the sky of Vegas that looks like they dock with each other.
Oh, interesting.
That was just on the UK Daily Mail. I was just reading that one. It's from just a few days ago, June 26th.
Breaking news.
When the Daily Mail published that. But yeah, this is fascinating. 2 big spheres falling out of the sky that I'm at least reading about. One of which is caught on the police body cam photo.
Yep.
And then you've got neighbors from a few houses away going like, there's big things running around my yard. And then the Las Vegas police are setting up temporary cameras in these yards.
Yep. Yep.
There is more than meets the eye on this one. And I hope they follow up on it.
Well, and I posted a video to the GhostBox Radio Facebook page, and it's one from the TV station in Vegas that George Knapp is a part of. So if you're familiar with George Knapp, I don't know if you're familiar. He is the news reporter that broke the whistleblower for Area 51 back in the late 80s.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
and he's been very close to all UFO stories, which so many come out of Vegas that it is. And if you watch the video, you can hear the sound of that craft hit the ground, which that itself is, what is that? I don't even know what that is. It's such an odd sound. I just find it very fascinating. Shar, are you familiar with any of this?
A little bit. I haven't really dived into a lot of it. To be honest, I'm trying not to have ADD and look at everything on the web lately.
Right. No.
But I've caught a little bit glimpse and pieces of it, and I did watch what you posted, and it's interesting. I mean, and it makes you wonder what about that area is so appealing.
I guess I always just assume, and it's as an assumption, so probably very wrong, that it's just so close to Area 51 or, whatever else they have going on over there.
Right. But what about that area makes it an attraction just in general? Like what started it? Like why there?
I mean, I don't know. To me, it always just seemed like that is because that's possibly where work is being done on devices. I mean, who's to say that? I mean, this is now getting into the real realms of conspiracy and whatnot of like those 8 to 10 foot tall aliens. Like, who's to say that they're not, working for the government for all we know?
Or they're not actually Yetis.
And they're not actually Yetis. That's what I thought.
They could be. Las Vegas is near mountains, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I've never been out there. So
yeah. I mean, I mean, it's tough. I would think it's tougher to live out there because water is not readily available.
But also, how many claims do we have of spaceships flying into the Uinta Basin in Utah?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe they're trying to get into those foothills of the Rockies there in Vegas, and miscalculation, and they end up crashing in somebody's neighborhood.
Yeah. No, I mean, it is very good point. And that's the thing, is like, there's so many things that it could possibly be.
We know one thing it's not. It's not, absolutely is not a hoax, because the Vegas PD has not closed this yet. No. They're setting up cameras around the neighborhood. So obviously they think there is something legitimate to this, and somebody didn't just CGI and call 911 as a prank.
No. In fact, what I had posted, they made a point in the news report to say that it definitely was not that the 911 call was not a hoax, that it was a real 911 call. It was somebody who was truly in fear. It wasn't somebody trying to wind anyone up. And like you said, they are, just the fact that the police set up cameras of their own.
Yeah, that to me gives some definite, concreteness to this latest claim.
Yeah, right. No, it is truly something. And like you said, Adam, I think there's just more to come on this.
I think there is too, and I can't wait to see what finishes up with that investigation.
Right. Well, and that's the weird thing about it. Once again, I mean, going into the land of conspiracy, I guess, is that, are they going to be allowed to finish the investigation?
True, because Men in Black, I think, actually exist. Not called Men in Black, but I'm sure there's that.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of things that point to what they call Men in Black technology.
Mm-hmm.
That is very fascinating, but it's also very frightening at the same time. But that is true.
Yeah. Why can't we just get, the wand from Star Trek that healed the one woman's thing, issues in the elevator and search for Spock? Why can't we just do that with the alien technology?
That's right. I mean, that's just it. I mean, we talked about how it feels like what we are reverse engineering always seems to be related to weaponry. Even if it's a flying device, it always seems to have a military aspect to it. Can you all think of something that doesn't? No. That we know of?
I would say the smartphone, but people use that for hate all the time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And that's a good point, because there's a lot of things there that that who knows what we're using in our everyday lives that might have some alien, like it started with an alien drop off of some kind.
If it's the Keurig, thank you.
Or the air fryer.
Oh my God, I love those. That was a pandemic buy that I'm glad I did.
That's
Absolutely
funny. That is really funny. I laugh. I mean, but that's true. I mean, who's to say that's not?
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean, it makes life better and easier. I mean, Tang, for all we know, could be of an alien.
Well, and I honestly think, if they're gonna put it out there, they're gonna hide it in the most simplest, easy to accept place, so we're not going, what the heck is this? Like, make it easy so that we all get it and it's not threatening, because how else can you hide something so amazing?
Now, I'm going to cut us all short here, because we're wrapping up here. Shar, Adam, thank you so very much for being on tonight. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. And the reason why I'm cutting it a little short here is because we're going to just say goodbye for my final Sunday show. And once again, I'd like to remind everybody to please join me tomorrow night at 10:06 p.m. as we move the show Monday through Friday. We're going to have Moon Girl on. We're talking about dream interpretation, a new journey for us. Please join us. Thank you for everything. And we'll see you tomorrow night. Take care, everybody.
Hi, this is Paul Metza inviting you to listen to a great new episode on the Law and Power Radio Hour this weekend. We feature political activist, attorney, and musician Dirk Schwank, who bases himself out of Annapolis, Maryland. Very brilliant, progressive political mind. We have a beautiful chat with him, listen to some of his music and more. You're going to want to listen to the show, which